Hi, welcome back to the section titled A Brief Overview of Paleography. And paleography is examining the ancient writing of Latin and Greek and their derivatives. So in the European milieu, we are coming into the time 500 to 1200 AD. Even though there's more examples to go after that, I just wanted to focus for the sake of this week on paleography to this particular time. Also because the sample that you'll find on the final page of my Prezi about the Odyssey is pertaining to this time period too. And the book that I'm going to share here is from my personal library by Raymond Clemens and Timothy Graham, titled Introduction to Manuscript Studies. And so I have a fairly exhaustive list on the Prezi, and I'm not going to include samples from all of that. In fact, there's even more in the textbook that I didn't list because they were coming after the 1200 date. But the first is the Liu minuscule, and this is an interesting paleographic example, in part because it's incorporating both the insular from the Irish monastic form and the Merovingian chancery script, and there's a lot more information on that here in this page. But I want to note too that minuscule means lowercase. The Merovingian was known to kind of, somebody had said that it like wandered across the page like a spider, and the Irish monastic influence tends to have color, you know, a separate type of color for the first few letters. These happen to be red. I don't think that's quite showing up here, but so it's a intermixing of the two, which is interesting. And then the next one happens to be a sample of insular minuscule. I'll just share that really fast. And then the German minuscule. And this one I found interesting because you actually see some damage that didn't happen after the writing. That's an example of like a wound that was on the animal at the time of slaughter to make the vellum. And they, wait, no, I'm wrong. That was a wormhole. Excuse me. I forgot the wrong one. But that's really interesting how those different holes mean different things, and they're able to decipher that. The most important minuscule was the Caroline minuscule, which is in conjunction with connection with the Carolingian dynasty of King Charlemagne around late 700s. That also has a connection to an Anglo-Saxon monk, Alcuin. And then the final two that I'm going to show here, or three, will be the Beneventan minuscule, which is coming from Italy and in connection to thinking of Saint Benedict and the Benedictine Abbey Monte Cassino. Really beautiful and colorful there. And then there's just some different book hands, scripts, which are changing, and I think they're right here. I'm going to just share the one, the German proto-Gothic book hand, because that's just really pretty. The nice thing about this book too is it will have this translated into a nice, well, I mean it's Latin, both of them are Latin, but it's organized in such a way that it's easier to follow. And then all the common, it's not on this one, but on the first one, the common ligatures and the different distinctive letter forms that would have been used. So here's the insular period, because they had different ways of doing it. So anyways, thank you for sharing with me.